Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for joining us today. I just want to thank everyone that put in a vote last week as to your favorite intro song, whether it was the old one or the new one. I really appreciate all the feedback. Some of you really love the new one. Some of you really love the old one. And as it turned out, twice as many of you like the old intro music better than the new one. I like them both. I think the new one has a little bit more energy to it, which could help my vlog. Let's face it, I'm not a high energy vlogger like some of the other people out there. So music does help a little. And not only that, I've been running like God ever since I changed my intro song. So me changing it back, I hope it doesn't change how my play is. Maybe I'll just listen to the song on my headphones while I head down to the casino. I'm buying into the 1-3 game over at Capital Casino for my standard $500, and off we go. All right, this is the very first hand of the day, and just to set up the table dynamics right now, I would say 7 out of my 8 opponents have stacks 300 or less, and 1 has a stack of 2,000 to my right. And I haven't played with this person before, but I have noticed that they didn't seem very comfortable with their chips. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it seems like maybe they bought in deep, but I don't know whether they are a player or not yet. So I'm going to try to get involved with many hands with him because I think he's kind of new to the game by the way he's handling his chips as he took them out of the rack. So the action starts off with a $9 raise from a fairly tight player. Player to my right puts in the call. Here I have ace-8 suited. I like to raise with these, especially after a weak raise, but everyone's so short, I just don't want to have to raise and get jammed on and have to face it. I'd rather everyone be a little deeper so there's more playability. So we get 2 more calls behind us. We see a flop that comes King 10-6 all spades. I continue to run like God. I don't know what's going on. I just been flopping and hitting hands left and right. It's an easy way to play poker, I guess, but so be it. The initial raiser leads out for $9. Player to my right puts in a quick call. I think just calling here is fine. There are arguments for raising at this point, but let's face it, I'm way ahead, and I kind of want them to catch up. Well, just the 3 of us are going to see a turn card. And the turn card is a queen of spades. Well, this one doesn't really help me too much unless someone just has a jack of spades. First person checked. The player to my right leads for $25. Again, I think standard, just put in the call. Hopefully he catches up or continues to bluff the river. River card comes is a 5 of spades, so there is a flush on board, and my opponent leads for $50. Okay, time to put in a raise. How much do I think he will call with, say, a 9 of spades or a jack of spades? Well, I don't know how he plays. I'm going to put in $100, see if he will call $100. He quickly does. I turn over my hand, show him that flush, and we win our first pot. There's a limper and a raise to $10 whole from the player on my right. Of course, I'm going to be set mining with pocket 4s with his stack size. I put in the call. So do the other people. We go 5 ways to a flop. That comes out. You got it. It's overkill. 9-4-4 with 2 clubs. We flop quads. All right. I check. It gets checked around. Player on the button, who I've seen play a couple hands now, and he doesn't seem to know exactly how to value or bet. I call. The rest fold. Turn card comes is an ace. Well, that could be a good card. It could be a bad card. He might have an ace, or he might have like a pocket pair. He bets small for $35. I don't think he has much, but I seen him call down with 3rd pair when there's a straight on board. So I'm just going to put in the raise now. I know a lot of you say, never raise when you have quads. He's going to chase the fish away or whatever. And I go, hey, this guy is extremely sticky. I think he's going to probably put in a call. And if he has an ace, I'm going to go for a big bet. So he thinks for a bit and says he's going to call, and the dealer actually helps him figure out how much to put in. So I'm thinking this might be, a new player to the casino arena. River card comes is the Queen of Hearts. God, I hope he made something. I'm just going to bet out, and I'm going to bet for $180 because I'm just hoping that he has an ace. If he has an ace, he is not folding. Even if he had a bad kicker, now he has a good kicker. If he has something else, he might get away. Anyway, he tanks for over a minute and then ends up folding. So I don't know if we lost value or not, but we're going to take down another pot. Well, so far we are just catching cards. Let's see how ace-king suited will work. We have the player to our right limp in. I raise to $20. I get a call from the player on my left, one on the button, one in the blind, and of course the player on my right. So after everyone gets their chips in, we have a pot of $103. We have a nice premium hand. Let's see if we can get a premium flop for it. Dealer scoops in the chips, puts out the flop, and man, we are running hot. Ace high flop with two spades. Okay, top pair, top kicker. We got sticky opponents. One of them has a very deep stack. I lead out for $50 after the first two players check. Player on my left contemplates for a while but lets it go. Player in the button who I haven't played with at all, but seems like a conservative player, has about a $300 stack, decides that this will be a good time to raise to $150. All right, alarm bells are going off. A conservative player puts in the raise on the flop. I don't think they're bluffing. I don't think they're betting a draw. I think they're betting a hand like two pair or a set. And since I have an ace, they probably have either pocket sevens, pocket fours, or hopefully ace seven or ace four. The other players end up folding out, and I'm getting a good price still. It cost me $100 to win a $400 pot. I got a flush draw to the nuts, not going anywhere. Turn card comes as the Queen of Hearts. Don't like it. I think I'm still way behind. If they have a hand like ace seven or ace four, that gives me some more outs because now the queen can pair. If the turn card comes as a deuce or a three, that would be very bad because, of course, they won't be able to get counterfeited by that card pairing. They go all in. They don't have that much left. It's like 136 or 137. I'm doing math in my head right now. I'm going to assume that they have at least ace four or ace seven. More than likely, they probably have a set. Am I getting the right price? I think I am, but I hate it. I think I'm behind. Maybe if I catch a king, it'll be good. A queen, I think, would be good. But if they have a set, I need to hit a flush, and it can't be the queen of spades. So I only have 8 real outs. That's only like 16%. I'm not quite getting that in the pot odds at this point. It's a little bit less than that. I put it in the call, hoping for a good river, and we get an ace. Of course, this doesn't really help me too much. I'm waiting for them to turn over, and they show me pocket fours. Win with pocket fours, lose with pocket fours. I guess poker is fair. Well, after losing that hand, we went on a long, cold stretch where I would see a flop, miss it, or flop something enough to put in call, and someone would put in a big raise, and I have to dump it. Until we come up with this hand. There's an early position limp. Very snug player raises to $15. Gets 3 callers for the $15, and it comes around to me on the big blind, and I got pocket tens. I really don't want to play this multi-way. The person that's conservative, they have about $250 in their stack. I decided to raise to $70. I figured if they had aces, kings, they would re-raise and isolate. If they had queens or jacks, that's not a good situation. But if they have like ace king, ace queen type of hands, I'm ahead. So they don't raise, they just put in the call, and that kind of invites the other players to also put in the call. So we're going to go 4 ways to this flop with $299 in it, and I have about a pot-sized bet left in my stack, maybe a little bit more. Flop comes out 6-3 deuce rainbow. Well, that's a great flop for an overpair. It gets checked to me, and I think I just have to jam. If the player has ace king, ace queen, I think they're going to fold. I might even get them to fold some of their jacks and queens. Believe it or not, they are very, very tight, very, very conservative. They know that I know this, and they would probably suspect that I would not jam with anything less than, say, queens in this spot. They tank for a while, and the longer that he's thinking, the more I'm thinking that, all right, he has queens. He's not going to fold. And he does put in the call. I think I might be behind. Either that or he made a crazy call with ace king. Well, the turn card's an ace. I'm dead no matter what. I tell him I can't beat anything that you might have. He shows kings, and of course, I can't beat kings. So after that hot start at the beginning, we are reloading for another $500 to add to our remaining stack. And about a half hour later, I pick up ace queen on the button. There is a limper player to my right who has a pretty good stack, 800. It was 2,000 to the start of the session. Races to 15. I race to 45. Everyone folds except for him, and he puts in the call. Flop comes queen 6-4 with 2 hearts. Really good flop for ace queen. My opponent bets $75, a rather large size. And he, I've noticed, bets large sizing when he has good hands. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I have a good hand. I'm just going to let him continue. Turn card comes is a 9 of diamonds. Doesn't really change anything. He goes for another bet, this time for 125. A little bit smaller. Maybe he's not as confident now. I think the best play is just to let him keep firing away. I should be able to get my chips in. If he fires the river, I'll get a raise in. We'll see what happens. Well, the river card comes is a pretty good one for me. It's the ace of diamonds. Kind of gives me top 2. Only losing to a set at this point. He bets out for 225. Okay, I got a little over $400 in my stack. Let's just jam it all in there. I think it was $409 to be exact. So he only has to call like $170, $180 more. But I don't think he can beat an ace, let alone beat 2 pair. After some thought, he just decides to let it go and talks about how bad he is running today. Well, after this hand, I am back up into the green. We're 2 hours and 15 minutes in. I'm up $130, and I have ace jack in the small blind. We get a bunch of limpers for $3. I raise it to 30, just trying to squeeze them out or get heads up with 1 or 2 players. The player at the end of the table, who's the one that beat me with the pocket 4s earlier, puts in the call for the $30, and so does the player to my right. He plays quite a few hands. Flop comes out. Queen, Jack, 10 with 2 hearts. As I was thinking about what to do, both players checked out of the turn. I said, just a minute, I haven't checked yet. I don't think they have a queen at this point. I think a jack is basically the nuts, unless they are pulling a fast one on me. I bet out for $40. Player at the other end of the table takes a peek at their cards again. Maybe they have changed, and eventually makes the call. The player on my right ends up folding, and we're going to go heads up to the turn card. Well, the turn card is a 7 of spades. It shouldn't really change too much unless they picked up some sort of backdoor flush draw. There are 2 flush draws out there, tons of straight draws. I'm going to size up just a little bit, make it $90. If they want to chase me down, we'll let them chase me down, but they just got to put some more money in it while they try. After some thought, my opponent decides to let it go, and we pick up another small pot. All right, we're cruising along and come up with pocket queens on the button. It was open for 17. Player to my right calls to 17, and with queens, I'm going to isolate. I'm going to make it $60. The original raiser ends up folding their hand, and the player to my right, of course, will continue. He's been having a wild day, losing a lot of pots, and his chip stack is now down to $400 at this point. But he puts in the call. We got $140 in the center, and we have a premium hand in position. Flop comes out, and it's not the greatest, but it's all right. It comes king high with an 8 and a 6. There are 2 diamonds. I do not have a diamond in my hand. He checks to me, and I'm just going to check this back because he has a tendency to get really sticky if he sees any kind of weakness. Turn card is a complete blank. He checks again. I think he's going to stick around even with hands as weak as ace high. He doesn't even have to have a pair. He doesn't even have to have a draw. He's just the non-believing type. So I'm pretty sure I am way ahead at this time. Hoping for just a clean run out. We get the 6 of hearts. Not the cleanest. He could have had third pair. I mean, he could have just about anything. But when he checks, I'm going to go for some very, very thin value. I think that if he had some other pocket pair, he would probably call. And I figure $80 might be just enough. I mean, a quarter-size pot, he can call that, right? If he thinks he has maybe a 20% chance of winning this, he'll come and get it. But he must have a real piece of junk because even though he thought for nearly 2 minutes, he ended up folding for $80. Well, shortly after this hand, the game didn't get any better. It got much, much worse. A couple of good regs came to the table looking to get in the action, and a couple of the action players ended up going broke or just leaving. So after 3 hours of play, I decided to call it a day. Had a decent win, not bad, but I know you guys are interested in a little more, so I'll give you a hand that was played 2 days later. Well, I've been playing for about 45 minutes and just been breaking even. Here I have ace 10 under the gun. I'm suited. I raised to $15. The game started to loosen up quite a bit in the last 20 minutes or so, and I ended up getting 5 callers. So we head off to the flop, and the flop is ace king 4 with 2 diamonds and a heart. This many opponents, I don't mind checking top pair with a medium kicker. It does get checked around. Turn card comes as a 2 of hearts. Really good card for me. I pick up a flush draw, and I still got top pair, and I don't think anyone else does. And I have a feeling that I'm going to get looked up by someone with maybe a king. Maybe someone might have picked up a heart flush draw. Ooh, wouldn't that be wonderful if we make a flush on the end? I do get a call by a very conservative player. Another player who has been playing a lot of hands today and has been kind of running into it, puts in the call also. The 4th player folds out, and then the big blind to my right decides to call also. Now, neither one of these players have a stack over, say, $150. So when a 7 of clubs comes on the end, it doesn't complete anything unless they had king 7 of hearts. So I'm thinking, all right, let's just get $100 in there. Betting 100 into a $250 pot, I might get a call from a king, maybe for someone from maybe something even weaker. First player's one I was kind of worried about. He could have had some sort of ace in his hand, but after some thought, he just lets it go. The player at the end of the table, who's a little bit short stack, he flicks in the call. I tell him I have an ace, roll it over, and he can't beat it, so he just pays me off, and we got $348. We pick up ace 10 suited again. Here was a $6 straddle, couple limpers. I decided to limp in the cutoff. Player on the button puts in a raise to $30. He's been raising a lot of hands, and he kind of gives away his power of his hand by his raise sizes. A $30 raise is not a premium hand. Just something like he likes to play, like two big face cards, maybe an ace jack, ace little suited. I put in the call, as so does the small blind. So we're going to go three ways to a flop that comes out 10-8-8. There is one spade, so I do have a backdoor flush draw, and I got a pair of tens. I think the correct play is just to check it over to the aggressor. That's what I end up doing. He decides to bet out for $35. He gives away a lot of information by his sizing, and not only that, by the way he bets his hand. I don't think he has much. He might have an ace, ace rag. If this is the case, I'm just going to put in the call. If I get lucky, he can catch an ace and stack himself. And that's exactly what happens. Turn card comes is the beautiful ace of diamonds. I got top two. If he has a hand like ace jack, ace queen, I don't think he has ace king or ace queen, but if he does, he's not going anywhere. He bets out again, this time for $95. Now he has a pretty deep stack. He has me covered. I think the only way to get all the money in is to put in a small raise here and then jam river. I figured I would raise him about $170. If he calls that off, I got a little less than a pot size bet remaining, and all the chips will go in. Well, it becomes abundantly obvious that he does not have an ace in his hand. After knowing this, of course, it would be much better if I just flatted and maybe he would have tried to stab at it at the river. But then again, me calling on the turn with that board, yeah, it looks like I have something pretty damn good. All right, congratulations for making it to the end of the video. For the week, we're up a little over $1,000. Not too bad. Didn't have any big wins or just pretty consistent, right around the $300 or $400 mark all week long. For the month, well, we just started the month, so it's not that impressive. But we had a good month last month, and the month before that, and the month before that. Hopefully my run will continue. I think I'm playing well, but as you can see, I am catching some cards, which makes it easy to play well. The real test would be when I'm not catching cards and I have some tough spots that I have to navigate. And just a reminder that if you haven't liked and subscribed by now, please do so. It does help the channel grow. I appreciate you tuning in and wish you good luck at the tables, and we'll see you back here next week.